here at the County Center, Clarkstown North Rams. Man, it's been a lot of basketball today, guys. And the Rye Garnets, coach, 26-22.
How about Kyle Kirkland's first half? How about that first half? 11 points, 3 threes, transition bucket, and then how about Rotimi Asiso? Outstanding, getting in the lane, creating havoc, attacking the basket. They've caught Rye off guard with transition, whether it was primary break or secondary break. Rye not getting back in time, not loading the lane up defensively to take away dribble drive, and Asiso taking advantage.
It's really interesting. I'd like to now get the opinion of our special guest here, young Louis Fazia, okay,
Perfect.
who has studied this game and has gone to watch Rye play for the last 5 games.
Yes, coincidentally.
So what'd you see in the first half?
You know, a lot of back and forth there. I think a real key for the Clarkstown North here is going to be keeping Rye off the glass. Rye really thrives with the offensive rebounds and second chance points. That's how they've won a lot of their recent games. And they're doing an okay job with it, but if they want to keep this lead, I think they definitely need to pick that up. Like you said, driving the lane, very good. Rye plays a lot more of a slow game. If you want to beat them, I feel like you got to play really fast. And then Kirkland's shooting has just been great for them. Kind of cooled off after the first quarter, but I mean, in that first quarter, he was just on fire, and that's what you need.
Yeah, he's so fast. Like he's going coast to coast, lightning fast.
And Asiso's very tough at 6'4" with that body going downhill if you don't stop him up top early.
Yeah.
Louis, talk to us about the fact that Rye's running their stuff really good. They're not finishing. How many layups do you think Rye's missed? 4 or 5 at the rim?
I'd say at least 4 or 5. I could say even more. I'm over there, I'm right under the hoop, and it's a lot, you know? But if they're getting those rebounds, then, I mean, the misses really mean nothing. Because if they're getting it up and they're turning them into makes, then it's not doing anything for Clarkstown.
The issue is they've turned some of those right into makes. They haven't turned them all into makes.
That is true.
And that's hurt Rye a couple of times where they missed the layup. Kirkland came down and hit the 3. That's a 5-point swing.
Yeah.
And then Captain Jack hits one at the top as well, and it kind of got them propelled.
Yeah.
What do
Captain Jack.
Captain Jack Kavanaugh. Great
names. Great names.
Louis, what do you think Rye needs to do to finish this game with a W?
Well, I think they're doing pretty good right now. Definitely keep running their sets. The shots aren't really falling. I think they've only made 1 3, and it was Hudson, and he's missed a couple. Miller's been missing 3s. So I feel like they keep doing what they're doing because they're getting open looks.
They are.
If they can just capitalize off those, then, you know, it's a completely different game. But then the same goes for Clarkstown North.
Right,
Listen,
absolutely.
I think the X factor for me, for Rye, is Ben Hudson. And he has not played a Ben Hudson half as he's played throughout the tournament. And he needs to come out in the second half
not the
and
way
beat Ben Hudson.
Not the way that he's been the last 7 games.
No.
And Carson's got to make those clean looks on the backdoor. Carson's making great backdoor cuts. Henry and company Shoemaker and company are finding him. But he's got to finish.
Shoemaker's been making some incredible passes down there.
He's been fantastic.
Just in the paint. And the backdoor cuts, the role players, Scully and Sebastian Lewis, also been making great backdoor cuts, and he's been finding them.
All right, guys, we got 60 seconds left. Coach, how do you see this game ending? Who's getting the goal ball?
I still think I think Rye wins it, but I think it's going to come down to the last possession.
Louis, how about you?
Well, I've been notoriously bad at predicting these games so far this weekend. But if I've learned one thing, it's not to bet against Rye. No matter what sport, they are winners. They've been here before, and I'm going with Rye.
Listen, guys, I think if Ben Hudson comes in the second half and plays the way he's been playing the entire playoffs, Rye takes this game. If not, Clarkstown North coming down.
Remember, it's the first 5 minutes right now.
Right now.
First 5 minutes?
Yeah.
First 5 minutes of the third quarter.
My coach used to say first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
First 3 minutes, last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Louis Fazia, thank you for coming on
at halftime.
We appreciate having you. Yeah. And that's why we play the game. We'll see you guys after the second half. All right, Coach. This is why we play the game.
Absolutely.
Halftime, 26-22. We talked about for Rye to win this game, they have to do the following. And now, 57-50, Rye comes out Section 1 champs.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. When the guys from and Coach Prudian come over from Rye, I'm going to hear about it because I picked Suffern to win the section. They broke my bracket. They busted my bracket in the semifinal. I thought that they would win the final tonight. We talked about it. Too much Henry Shoemaker, too much Carson Miller to offset an absolutely spectacular shooting performance by Kyle Kirkland.
Yep.
And Rotimi Asiso was spectacular all night long. However,
I agree.
Hudson made enough plays as the third option to see them through to get the victory. Clarkstown North didn't have that third guy tonight like they normally have had all year. And what do we say? If you have three offensive weapons that produce at any level, that team is going to win probably 90% of the time.
Listen, you're not alone in the I chose. We chose the same thing, and we are going to have to take accountability when these young boys come on.
We are.
But like I said at halftime, Ben Hudson has been the X factor throughout this entire tournament for Rye. That third option not only set them off in the beginning, and he had a first half that was not typical of his tournament play, and he came out in the second half. He gave that third option. He gave them trouble, and listen, those three guys together, there's a reason why they're champions.
And Carson Miller started finishing better around the basket. He missed some easy ones in the first half. He started finishing around the basket better. How about Henry Shoemaker? Inside, outside with the three. How about his passing at the top on split action, backdoor action? And then give Coach Prudian credit. He saw how to attack that matchup zone Clarkstown North plays in. And they seemed to get inside position, which was astounding for me, that they got inside of the two baseline defenders on Clarkstown North, and they really punished them every time they went to their matchup. Not from the short corner, they did that once, but that direct high post pass down, straight down to the opposite block.
I mean, listen, Shoemaker, in the first half, he had his hands full, okay? I mean, Rotimi is a beast. But the second half, he looked like he was playing at a different speed. Shoemaker got to the rim. He wasn't as contested. He made a lot of open layups, hit the threes, great passes. And, I mean, it was just, that's why we played again.
And I think what Rye did, they loaded up the box. They got back on defense faster. I think they were surprised at Asiso's skill level.
Yeah.
So in the first half, Rotimi got out in secondary break situation, primary break, and got to the rim and really caused them trouble. Rye did a good job of getting back and loading up the lane and stopping the dribble drive for the most part in the second half. Asiso still scored some, but not like he did in the first half.
I'll tell you, we're gonna find out what Rye did at halftime, because coming up on the show is going to be Coach, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what he told his players to turn this around and see what he had to say in that locker room.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to having the guys on, and I'll take the heat.
We'll take the heat together, Coach.
Because
I'll never leave you behind.
We did both pick Suffern. That's
always,
for sure.
Man, always. We're looking forward to Coach coming up next.
We are interviewing tonight. I'm going to say it for you at least once, maybe twice. Rye Garnets head coach, Tommy Prudian, Section 1 champion. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Sounds awesome. The kids work very hard, but they're the Section 1 champions. I have the easy jobs. Like, you're a coach yourself. We yell things, we tell them what to do, but they have to execute it. They deserve all the credit. The kids have to make the shots. The kids have to take charges. The kids have to make the passes, and know what their assignments are. So, like I said, I have the easy job. I'm over there just yelling stuff and screaming stuff. They have to execute it. You can't do it without the horses. I have the horses. And special ones.
They are special. We're going to get into them in a second. You can say that, but I'm going to tell you this. The way that you attacked Clarkstown North defensively, offensively against their defense, your man-to-man split action was really good tonight. The double backdoor cut.
Well, they were overplaying, and I thought they were very aggressive. They came out a little more aggressive than man.
So was that an adjustment you made off of that action?
Yeah, it's the old Princeton philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
If they're going to overplay, they got to go backdoor, and that'll loosen them up. Then it makes our other actions a little more effective.
But
it's pick your poison, basically.
But to go double backdoor,
to play, yes.
that is specific to what you saw with Clarkstown North.
You got to pick your spots. You can't use it too often. You got to pick the right spots. I just thought they were really overplaying and jumping. A lot of things we do, because a lot of our actions are dribble handoff.
Absolutely.
They were jumping it.
Down screen and a dribble handoff.
Correct.
A lot of Dustin May.
Exactly. So once they do that, we try to counter with a backdoor to try to loosen up that pressure. That's what you have to do. It was an in-game adjustment again, but the kids have to execute it.
So, listen, Coach, I love the humbleness. Right? I've never been a coach other than young rec basketball players. I'm a player. So the fact that you give the credit to the players, I very much admire that.
Always.
But coaches inspire, and coaches do coach. You're down 26-22 going into the half, okay? Clarkstown North looks like they have your number. Their athleticism, their speed, they were outrunning you and outplaying you at that particular
100%,
point.
100%.
What did you say in the locker room to get these kids, who are winners?
So here's the deal. My biggest fear coming into this game was 3 weeks ago we went up there on their home court and beat them by 21. Let's rewind. Greeley whipped us in December, okay? Suffern whipped us, embarrassed on the Friday night in our home in January. So going into Greeley, we had incentive, we had motivation, payback, revenge on our mind, okay? Right. Prove that wasn't who we were. Suffern, same deal. We had motivation, we had payback, we had revenge on our mind. Now, I had to be more psychologist than coach this week. The first thing I told him was, it ain't gonna be easy. Everything went right for us 3 weeks ago. Now they're gonna use that, they're coming for us. And they came for us in that first 16 minutes. And they said 3 weeks ago was a fluke.
Absolutely.
That's the real North. And I told them, as we were watching the film, as we were watching the film this week, we spent as much time in the classroom as we do in the gym. I just think it's invaluable.
I agree.
I'm telling you. And they go crazy because I keep rewinding. I do it. I have a football background.
I have a football background too.
Right, so
I like your football approach to basketball.
Yeah, so
I'm the same way.
Right. So I was a quarterback, always reading defense stuff, always watching film. So we watch a ton of film. And if it drives them crazy, who cares? We won the section championship.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I was nervous from the second we drew them because of that payback. They were in our boat, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And Asiso came out and really set the tone for it. And
they beat the crap out of us in the first half.
How good was Kyle Kirkland?
Awesome. I think he just made another three. That kid did not that kid deserved as much as Henry got the MVP. That kid was awesome himself.
He was spectacular.
Winner. All of them. They punched us in the face in the first half. They punched us in the face. But once again, these kids, they took the punch and they got back up and rose to the occasion. So that's why I said, I went in halftime. I said, look, we probably couldn't have played any worse. They probably couldn't have played any better. It was like us against Suffern the other day. Okay? I said, we're only down 4. I said, I was upset with our defense. Our defense,
transition.
Especially transition.
Transition was not good.
And we're given uncontested. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So I said, our defense was terrible.
Unrye-like, because you guys were slow getting back. Asiso got in the lane, got to the rim. Kirkland got to the rim.
Kirkland's a track star.
Yeah,
if you don't flying up and down the court.
My God.
Sick athlete,
absolutely.
Right? He's like their Carson.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I said to him, one of our tenets is defense has to travel. Look, everything we threw up against Suffern went in. Everything we threw up in the first half didn't. But our defense was letting us down. You can survive with missed shots as long as your defense was there, and it wasn't there. It wasn't. So that was my message. Step up the D. Our shots will eventually fall, and we'll be in this thing. We have a chance. We're only down 4.
To that point, you did a great job of loading up the lane and getting in front of the ball against the Asiso and take those charges.
Absolutely.
And I thought you just made a conscious decision to say, okay, Kirkland's going off, but we can't have one more go off.
Right.
And so only one went off.
Yeah.
It
was almost enough.
It was almost enough, but it wasn't. And you had 3, particularly Hudson in the second half after he struggled in the first half. And Miller missed some easy ones in the first half, Tommy, that he doesn't normally miss.
Everything went wrong. Just like everything went right against Suffern.
Yeah.
And you, as a coach, you think that. You're like, we ain't going to do that again. I didn't tell them, but I told people close to me, we ain't going to shoot that well again like we did.
Hey, you guys like 80% from three-point range.
Yeah, you were really good in the semifinals.
But they found a way. These kids found a way.
They did.
I want to speak to Henry Shoemaker's overall game. I love the ghost action. He bangs 2 big threes. You made that call because you saw that they're respecting him on the drive.
Correct.
So
Ben was getting downhill. So Ben turned the corner,
and they draw the 2.
Yeah,
right.
they have to show.
They had to show and then come back.
And
but
he's
knocking it down.
Catch and shoot.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We're big believers in catch and shoot here.
You and I didn't execute it. They did.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
my point.
Correct.
Whoever got the marker last is going to win. And we say that, we draw anything up, it's pretty.
Yeah.
They have to execute it. They
Absolutely.
did. All credit to them. So I'm just so happy for them that they get to relish this on this stage in this moment.
And
awesome.
I'm happy for you because what we talked about before we got on air, happy for you and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have a little rapid fire for you.
Yeah, listen, if
You gotta keep it.
Mike. If
You gotta
you're
keep it,
ready, we're going to
Coach.
put some pressure on you now.
Sorry.
Now
keep
you
it.
got to perform, Coach, okay?
I thought that's over with. The game's
No,
over.
you got to perform now. Here we go. One word to describe this team.
Heart.
Who's the most vocal player on your team?
Sebastian Lewis.
What is
Unsung hero. Makes all the little plays.
We're
What
going
is
to
the
talk
best
about.
thing
We're going to talk about
what's
him
up,
with the
yeah?
boys.
Yeah. What's the best thing about coaching this team?
They're winners.
That's for sure.
Who's the player on your team? Who's the player that your team looks for when the game gets tight?
All 5 guys on the floor.
Best answer of the night.
Great answer.
Team. Together, everyone achieves more.
You win the section championship tonight. What does this moment mean to you?
So happy that these kids get to win a section championship on this stage at the county center. Say it all the time, the mecca of Section 1 basketball.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're going to remember this for the rest of their lives. You can never take it. I know that's passe and cliche,
It's true.
but these guys get to relish this and savor it and have this. They can never take it away from them. Me, it's cool. It's all about the kids. It's always about the kids.
Listen,
they did it for me.
It always is, isn't it?
It has to
Always
be.
is. And
Has to be.
there's nothing that is about cliche about never forgetting these moments. This bracelet will have all the highlights of the
chips in there.
Okay,
of the
cool.
entire tournament. Highlights you gave us, right? Simply tap the bracelet. You can watch the entire tournament. These 2 stickers, you can put one on the gold ball, one on your plaque. These are the highlights for your game.
Oh, there.
Personally,
Gotcha.
that you guys just played. They're already stored on there.
It's on the.
Yep. You just tap it with your phone.
Amazing.
And we'll keep adding highlights as we get them.
Modern technology is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I want to shout out to Tom Codispoti, Coach Codispoti and Coach A.J. Thompson.
Phenomenal.
Tremendous staff. I watched how you guys work together.
Yeah.
You guys,
you need those people in your ear.
You guys have the same oneness involved in the way you want to coach and instruct your guys. Real quick.
Invaluable information they provide me during the game, 100%.
Want to shout out for them too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to have the coach, Section 1 champions, Rye Garnet,
Coach Tom Prudian.
Coach Tommy Prudian. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. And now it's an honor to welcome MVP and all tournament players from the Section 1 championship, Class A basketball, Rye Garnets. We have Shoe Miller with us, the gentlemen that make up Shoe Miller, okay? Henry Shoemaker and Carson Miller. Boys, first, we want to start off by, we're big on accountability. Coach and I did not pick you guys to win.
No, we did
Okay.
not.
Kevin did.
And clearly we were wrong. And clearly we're about to eat our words and have you guys here. And we're so happy for you guys. You played your tails off. It was fun to watch. We appreciate having you guys on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll start. First of all, there's a friend of mine at home that we know. I can't mention his name, but he wanted to say this to me. He capitalized it on my phone. I told you so. I told you Rye was going to win this. I saw them at the end of the year, and I knew they were going to be champions, so I want to make sure that that person hears me, that I'm recognizing the fact that he picked you guys when I did not.
Recognize that you were wrong? He wants to rub in your face that you were wrong?
Absolutely wrong. They busted my bracket early. Listen, congratulations, Henry. Congratulations, Carson. You guys have won a lot in your careers here. You're going to be two of the most winningest student athletes in school history. To win a Section 1 basketball championship, Carson, we'll start with you. Then, Henry, I want your words and thoughts. Carson, what does it mean for you personally?
It means the world, you know. I would say we won in football, we won in lacrosse, and this is the first time winning in basketball, a section championship. I think it's by far the best feeling, you know, just the adrenaline shock that goes when Ben's throwing that ball in the air and, you know, we're all running and jumping up. It's just the best feeling in the world. There's nothing like it. Me and Shoe's sophomore and junior year, we fell short, and, you know, you fall to your knees, and it's just terrible. And to go to sleep tonight just with a smile on my face, it's going to mean the world. And yeah, I'm just so beyond happy.
How about you, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, everything Carson just said applies to me too. I haven't been able to like conceal the smile. It's been on my face since, you know, the buzzer, you know, hit zeros. I mean, it's important to point out those two other teams we played on were extremely good
They're
teams,
very good teams
that we could have
absolutely
easily won a section championship with. You know, all those players, amazing teammates, and that's just the Rye culture, you know. So being able to win one for those guys, win one for our school finally, you know, it really does mean the world. And it was a little bit like the curse, you know, we're coming back, similar situation. We're right back here. We were down 4 last year at halftime, and then, you know, being down 4 again this year at halftime. I think, you know, to overcome that hump, you know, in our sporting careers and our athletic careers, I agree. This is the happiest I've probably ever been after a win in any sporting event ever.
That's saying something, because you guys, this is not considered your primary sport. I mean, Carson, I'd like for you to tell our audience where you're going next year and what you're going to be playing.
I'm going to Harvard to play lacrosse.
Yep.
Henry?
I'm going to Harvard to play football.
So to hear that, I know it means a lot to the both of you. I want you to talk to me. Listen, it was a very un-Carson Miller-like first half. Backdoor cuts, your ball movement, off the ball movement was great. Trouble finishing in the first half. Second half, you started finishing. Tell me about what you were thinking in the first after you came out in halftime. What did Coach Prudian say to you?
Coach Prudian puts the utmost faith in me and confidence to always, like, if I'm down, you know, he's going to pick me up and I'll be just okay, and he won't stop calling plays for me or trying to get me the ball. What I was most disappointed in, and honestly it didn't really change the second half, was, I mean, my job was to take away Kirkland, and he had, 8 threes? I mean, it was just unbelievable performance by him. I felt like there was not a lot I could do out there, and he was just making me pay for not really getting up top of the ball. And then I also wasn't finishing. So when I show you on offense sometimes, I can get pride in my defense, and I wasn't having either in the first half. And things started to fall. She was making great reads inside and getting the ball for layups. But when I was down, you know, every single player on the team picked me up, but also they showed up. Ben played great. Luke Scully, phenomenal game. Like, just unbelievable.
He was great. Luke Scully, Sebastian Lewis, both of those guys. How good were both of those guys?
I'll say this. I think the depth of our team is probably the most underrated and kind of appreciated part of our team. I mean, obviously, you know, you mentioned it, the Shoe Miller, but our team is really formed around the Ben Hudson hitting a big 3, Sebastian Lewis locking down pretty much any player he wants. You know, Cal Wing coming off the bench.
Cal Wing in the semifinal.
Of course,
unbelievable.
Players like Ryan Hess, and these were guys that we actually said this in our preseason game day 1 interview, was that those are the players that when you get to the end of the season, those are the guys that are going to be like, wow, I didn't see this guy, I didn't know who he was, but he's making a big difference right here, right now.
Ryan Hess with 4 big points on those 2 layups was big for you guys in the first half when you were struggling offensively.
Yeah, both of us were struggling, and they kept us in this game.
I think Ben Hudson, for this playoff tournament, I watched all your games at the tournament, because I was up at Greeley, right, watching there, because we have a Jackson who played in the Chris Ward program. And Ben Hudson came out in Greeley, first 2 threes, on fire. He was that ex-player of the game in that case. Same thing in your semifinals. And tonight, when you guys were down, we talked about at the halftime show, like, hey, what's the difference of this game and the last two you played? Ben didn't have a great first. He didn't have that energy, the threes, and so forth. And we said he had to come out to give you guys that edge, that space that he does. His dribble, his shooting, his swagger. He has some of the best swagger that we've seen, and I love it.
And he finished around the rim in the second half. 100%. He made that huge short jumper just below the foul line on your feet that you found him on.
Yeah, Ben's an unbelievable basketball player, and he's one of the few true basketball players on our team, which you need. He's a basketball junkie. He takes 200 plus shots a day in practice.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going through plays and now it's just a shoot around, he's breaking a sweat every time, and that's what you need on the team. And he showed up. You know, me and Stu were coming off football. We had Ben Hudson, who's going to shoot 40% from behind the arc all season and just be phenomenal. We can rely on him every time, and he really cares about the sport, the team, and he's just such a great player.
How often does he practice 200 shots in the gym? How often does he practice his shoulders toss?
Probably more.
Probably a lot.
You see that a lot in practice, the shoulder roll a little bit once in a while.
This kid,
he gets in that mode.
He's got the swagger of a basketball player. You guys are right. I love watching him.
Henry, I want to talk to you for a second. How about the fact that Clarkstown North made the decision to single cover you on any post action? I thought that was interesting. I thought you took advantage of it. Because the CISO got in foul trouble, you scored some big buckets there. And then Coach Prudian, what a great job on the pick and pop, the ghost action. And then you hit the 2 threes in the second half that were huge, that allowed you to continue to take the ball and drive it to the rim. Yep. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get here, you look to the past. We're in the halftime locker room. We're thinking, similar to the last couple of years. And maybe in those years I wouldn't have took those shots. I would, didn't have a great shooting performance in the first half, but we're coming out. This is a chance to be our last basketball game ever, like you said. So we knew that this was on the people on the court and no one else to win this game. We knew we were the better team. We knew that we could win if we just played our form of basketball. So staying on the course, sticking to what Coach Prudian's saying, and look, I mean, when I got the ball on the inside, I felt like I could, do my thing a lot of the time, get to my spot, which. It worked well, and you got a lot of great buckets in the second half.
Carson, talk to us about how well you broke down the matchup zone. You guys seemed to find a great way. I told Coach Prudian, I felt like there was something that you saw in the scouting report that allowed you guys to get inside position on the baseline defenders. What did that come from the scout report? Did you guys see that? Where you could get Carson and Scully on the backside, Lewis on the backside of the zone, and they could finish at the rim?
Yeah, so Coach Prudian does a phenomenal job preparing us throughout the week and giving us looks on film. I mean, sometimes our film sessions are longer than our practice. Actually, on most days. Like
he said, by the way, he said that, and he said how much you guys love that.
Yeah.
We're in there an hour and a half a day.
He's
so
a football coach. He's an offensive coordinator for a football team. He breaks down every play.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a football background as well, so I get it.
You can tell because we asked him, hey, what'd you say at halftime, right in the locker room? He goes, listen, man, we got punched in the face. And that's not a basketball coach comment.
No.
We got punched in the face.
That's
they came down. They punched
comment.
us in the face in the first half. Come on, guys, what are we doing? And, you guys came out.
So that breakdown.
Yeah, so we had that football mentality, like he said, but also what we see on film is a lot of exploitation. And this is not like I'm not trying to say anything like bad here. Just sometimes they get a little lazy off ball, and we saw that. So behind them, especially on inbounds and cross courts, and Shu does a great job when he's inside. He's scanning. He'll either take a shot on the one-on-one,
absolutely,
or he'll look to get it inside. And I've developed that with him. Scully has all the players that we can get backdoor cuts and get easy layups, and he finds us.
And I'd like to point out that in the first half, I was playing that middle spot and I wasn't hitting my shots. So what we did is we put Sebastian Lewis. Once again, a senior like us, played football with us, one of our best friends. We trusted him to play that middle spot. I took to the baseline, and that allowed me to get the backdoors inside.
How good was he passing the ball from interior passing? He was so good from that point and that place, and he made the right decisions.
He's very smart, and he plays the game just the right way, and he's such a great team player, and he's always looking for the right guy to get the ball to.
Yeah, and he's exactly the kind of player you want on every team. He played almost the whole entire game tonight.
I know he played almost all 32 minutes.
We're playing man defense the whole entire game, and he never asks for any, compliments after the game or, any of that. He does what, he does the hard jobs in life, and he's the best at it. And I mean, as you saw tonight, it was phenomenal. And he was pretty much the main reason that we got a lot of those buckets late and early in the game that kept us in it.
Absolutely.
You don't win without him.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, as we continue the interview with the popcorn blower, okay, the infamous popcorn blower that we're going to have in this scenario. Listen, guys, it was really fun to watch you guys. What does it mean for you guys to, you're winners, period, end of story, in your life, football, now basketball. What does it mean to win tonight at the County Center as a senior? Tell us about that.
I mean, I think I was telling Mike this earlier, that you see the gold balls in the trophy room and they stick out. There's the trophy right in front of the cube, the gym. There's the 6 gold balls we have. 3 of them from the girls, 3 of them from the boys. One of them's from 2020, one of them's from 1953, and one's from 1989. So to have now one from 2026, that's something people are going to notice. It cements your legacy. And I mean, it's just so fun and nice to have that. We won a gold ball. It's senior year, not senior year, whatever. But our team, everyone came through when we needed them the most, and that's what people will remember, I think, from this year.
Carson,
from my perspective, the whole community is behind you for football, and same with basketball. But you have a lot of teammates. You have 60 guys on the team. We have 15 guys. We hang out all day, every day. We hang out in school. I mean, I've grown to really make such great relationships with all these guys. And when you win in basketball, there's something about it. It's something different.
There is, isn't it?
And it's the happiest thing in the world. And, I've won section championships in all 3 sports, and hopefully we can get one in a couple months or 3 months in lacrosse as well. And that would be an amazing senior season.
State championship first.
Yeah.
So.
It's indoors.
You're right.
Louder. The adrenaline's there. The energy of other people are trapped. Football, lacrosse, it's outside.
Yeah. No hiding your face in basketball.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
And I got all our friends just coming on the court. Like, we don't have, they actually play with us in those sports. So now they get to be fans. They get to cheer us on. It's such a special sport. Especially, and also, me and she was going for football. I'm going for lacrosse. It's not a big, it's stressful, but it's not a big stressful thing in our life. And we enjoy it. And so winning it, it's just so much fun. So much fun.
It's awesome.
I mean, I just like to say, basketball means more sometimes. So, you get to play in the county center.
Yeah. How great crowd tonight, electric atmosphere.
Can't beat it. You can't beat it. This is every single shot. There's a crowd pop. You can barely hear yourself think. You're trying to see the plays from Coach.
Absolutely no hearing plays.
Yeah, I mean, he yells a lot, but
I know,
he's pretty loud.
I was doing color commentary with Kevin.
I bet.
I had no problem hearing him through the headset.
Yeah. But, I mean, you really just can't beat it. And there's no hiding in basketball, and there's 15 guys on the team. So to be one of those 15, 1 through 15, that's pretty amazing.
I want to say this to both of you. Section 1, I root for. No matter once section's championship's over, I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I hope that you take us to a deep run in the state tournament. I think you are built for it, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, Coach.
We appreciate that. That's
Very
awesome.
much
We're going to
appreciate
do everything we can.
And I hope you guys continue your podcast because it's amazing.
We will most certainly do it.
We're not stopping that. And you guys don't have to forget about this. Each of you get a bracelet.
Awesome.
Thank you.
These bracelets, when you tap them, they'll let you relive all of the moments of this entire weekend just by tapping with your phone. Moments that you guys gave us as well. And here, this is a sweatshirt for you as the MVP. When you tap the sleeve of that sweatshirt, all the highlights of your game and this interview are now stored on that sweatshirt.
Awesome.
We
Thank
really
you so much.
appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for doing what you do. It's amazing to watch you. Like Coach said, we wish you guys the best, a long run. It's been fun to watch.
Henry, Carson, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Man, what a night of basketball. Talking to these 2 young men, winners in football, winners in basketball, winners in life. See their parents and loved ones here behind us. It was an amazing night. Congratulations, Carson and Henry. County Center, Night 2, Championship Weekend. That's
Section 1 champs.
Section 1 champs.